Well, hello there, YouTuber and a good afternoon to you too. It's a short talk in the trailer park with the old guy, and it's a let's see here, Tuesday afternoon, coming up on around 4, I believe. Now, I don't know exactly what's going on with this video, the one we're on right now. I tried to do this video so far about 5 or 8 times, and I just keep coming up with, like, later on I'll review it and kind of go, who's interested in that? So bye. And so I guess this big blow up at the factory called Stock Market, whatever they build over at Stock Market Factory. It's, the whole thing's, it's a lot of guessing. It's a lot of valuation based upon scarcity. How much is there that can actually go around? And so, in terms of the way that economics works, I'm not an economist, but the way that a lot of this works is that it's relative scarcity is what places value. Well, now, interestingly enough, people like Buffett knew enough to sell off huge chunks of stuff, we'll call it valued property. And when they sold, guess what? The price fell through the floor. It was their purchasing that had already altered the price of the stock, driven it up. They sold when it was high, and guess what? It's low again. Coincidence? I think not. And so it goes along like this. You kind of call it the shearing of the sheep. Because for every one guy like Buffett who gets in and does it the profitable way, there's 10,000 or 100,000 other guys who are getting in and doing it just about backwards, who are getting hammered by these kinds of results. So I haven't really figured out what it is I wanted to say about the stock market crash. When I was a kid growing up in the 60s, I used to hear about the big market crash in 29, and I remember stories that some people were jumping from buildings, looking at ticker tape readouts of their stock values and then just leaping out of buildings. Well, I don't know whether that was really true or not, but I didn't really know what to expect. And the weird thing is it's sort of like, if you were at a restaurant or something, and we have a table for two, Thompson, is Thompson here? Well, if Thompson doesn't stand up with his lady or whatever and walk over and say, yeah, I'm here, I'd like to get, well, that table will just go on to someone else, right? Thompson is not crucial to the restaurant. Well, so what it works out to in my mind, maybe that wasn't the greatest illustration, but the idea is that if the world as we knew it didn't end with the crash of the stock market, will it end with the crash of the currency? I don't know. I guess I've been wildly overestimating just how important Thompson was. In other words, when the crash occurred in 29, it scarred a generation. It scarred their memories. Now, my parents were only like 8-year-olds in 29, so that would be like third graders or something. Maybe third or fourth graders, I don't know. But at any rate, yeah, my parents were like 8 and 9 years old in 1929. So the thing is that I heard all these stories about it and stuff, and I never really knew hard times. I mean, we were growing up during Vietnam and the civil rights unrest of the 60s, but that was nothing like the Great Depression. And so I thought, well, maybe I really don't know what a Great Depression looks like, or maybe it takes time for it to set in, Maybe from the time you announce it, whoops, hey, I had a minor earthquake there. I just kicked my little stand here that this thing's on. And, oh, by the way, I'm post-surgery now, post-op, so I'm going to go in for my post-op, whatever it is, tomorrow morning for the right eye. The doc is going to take a look at the work, and honestly, don't ask me what the Dr. Cole did. It looked like somebody was splashing around with some water, and there was some funny lights, and okay, we're ready to go. And it's like, what just happened? I don't know. But they did dope me up with a little bit of, it just, all it does is just slows you down and makes you a little bit rubbery, but yeah, you don't go down, you don't go to sleep. And honestly, it was just a very interesting experience, and I hope the next one next week goes just the same. Now they gave me this little disc thing. Whatever I did with it. There it is. It's this guy with holes punched in it. And I'm supposed to be walking around looking like that, vaguely. I think so. And I decided about 2 hours ago, no, I'm not. So I'll put it on. I'll put it on tonight when I go to bed. And the only thing they said was don't sleep on your right side. And so I'll have it on when I go to bed. And, you know, we'll do it right. But the thing is that just sitting up, I think the only reason it's there is so that you don't go banging into it or go, my eye itches, you know, or something like that. And so I just wanted to pass on to you that I've been kind of frustrated the last day or so, trying to think about how am I going to express my opinion on this great big stock exchange explosion. The answer is I don't know what to think about it, so I don't know what to say about it. On one hand, it seems like horrific that you would lose, that the loss would occur of such humongous amounts of money, and yet who got hurt, really? I mean, I don't know that anyone got set back financially because of this. It's just weird. So I'm apparently missing the main story here. I think that the main story is that people, if you're doing deeds in terms of stocks and bonds, and you're leveraging your sales, and you're working with all these early ins and early outs and all this insider trading and stuff, yeah, money can be made there, but it's fundamentally crooked. And the good news is that real wealth, actual wealth, stays. It's established from generation to generation. The Lord blesses His people with the supply they need, not necessarily the stuff they want, the supply they need, and He's faithful. And so the good news in all of the uproar about the no, it's not just the stock market. Right now we're talking about Iran's going to maybe go blow up Israel again. I don't know, but this whole thing is such an extraordinary mess, and I've never seen an election season even processed like this. Honestly, to this day, I don't know if Biden is running. I don't know if Harris is the candidate, and if so, who authorized her? Who gave her that right? Nobody voted for her. Not one person. Oh, I guess she is, because she announced her VP. I guess the governor of Minnesota, who himself, I guess, is yet another one of these left-wing guys. Big surprise there. But at any rate, thinking it over, just trying to figure out what was I going to say after the the big kaboom and at the stock market, and my answer is, I have no idea what that meant. It's like, we have an atomic weapon and it went off, So what was the damage? Nobody could tell. Didn't make a difference. It's a little bit like the way I talk about the Trinity site north of here. In the 40s, Oppenheimer and crowd fired off the first atomic weapon ever. It was a fission weapon at what's called the Trinity site. It's kind of near Socorro, New Mexico. And we'll call it 100 miles north of here. And so people say, well, how can you describe New Mexico? It's like, okay, I'll describe it for you. They set off the world's first A-bomb. Nobody noticed the difference. So maybe it's a little bit like that with this. Maybe I'm just thinking, optimistically. Maybe it's a little bit like this with this crazy stock market thing. We, had a worldwide super crunch, colossal crash day. What was the net result? Nobody noticed the difference. So God bless you, because he knows what's actual. He knows what's real, and he knows the news that matters. And one of the news that matters is I was watching a young guy today on the algorithm, and once again informing us, and I'm just going to pass this on to you, with all this craziness going on with aliens. I'm not talking about the 19 or 31 million crossing the border illegally. I'm talking about the supernatural aliens. The supernatural aliens that have been here a long time, aka demons. And so there was a young guy posting and to the effect that these so-called abduction events have been known to halt actively halt upon invoking the name of Jesus. Jesus, his name means I am who is salvation. And Christ, the Christ part means he is the anointed one. An anointed, there was 3 anointed offices: anointed prophet, priest, and king. He was called the Messiah King, and he still is. And so he has the victory, and whether it's over demons today or whether it's over hedge funds tomorrow, or whether it's over eye surgery hiccups down the way, he is competent to serve and to save. He's competent to come and relieve us in our sorrow and in our grief. And he knows how to cheer up a guy really good. And he'll bring you stuff you like too. Stuff that tastes good. Stuff that satisfies your heart. Have a good day and run to win, because what would the other option be? We're already going to taste that one anyway on the route. So let's aim up and see what happens. Bye-bye.